Hello, hi, welcome to What in the Raid, where we discuss all things Raid Shadow Legends. Today we are taking a look through the eyes of a raven at Andryssia, a void affinity, defense type epic champion from the High Elves Faction. Mechanically speaking, she looks decent, and the in-game scoring system does have her well reviewed. And if you geared her up well, she'd probably extend beyond faction wars and be reasonably functional in Cursed City or Doom Tower as well. Her only real issue is that the High Elves faction is already packed with a bunch of heroes with slightly more adventurous kits, better survivability, insane utility, as well as devastating wave-clearing offensive abilities. But if your roster is still in its infancy, I do recommend building her up for at least 5 stars until something a little bit stronger comes along. However, visually, she really is something else. The blue and silver livery makes her look like she's employed by nobility. Lore-wise, we know that she hails from the House of Tyrell, and judging by the shield, the helm, the staff, the short sword on her back, as well as those 2 daggers in her belt, she was more than likely part of some noble house guard. And then there's this overall look, this heavily armoured aesthetic that doesn't flow with the majority of the High Elves faction, with their light and wispy robes and long flowing hair. It does, however, align very nicely with her defensive role. It is also a visual complement to her skills kit, which is a combination of buffs and nerfs, as well as damage based on defense instead of attack. She is designed to help control the enemies and keep your struggling allies alive. And when I look at her, I do sort of want to trust her with my life. Now, I really wish that I could discuss a little bit more about her lore, but that is presently shrouded in the mists of time, which basically means Plarium hasn't written her backstory yet. But we can assume she probably spent a lot of hours in boring courts, quietly embracing her inner statue until trouble arrived, at which point she wouldn't just be shielding her patrons, but stepping in to participate in the battle as well. Overall, I really like her, and if it wasn't for the fact that I have a bunch of heroes with better and slightly more exciting kits, I'd probably be considering building her up. Now, if I was going to rate this hero, mechanically, I'd only be giving her a 6 out of 10, for reasons I will clarify a little bit later. For faction identity, it's an 8 out of 10. Visually, she certainly fits the vibe. Yes, she looks tanky, but that is her job. The glowing shield and staff hints at that ancient elf magic, and yet somehow she's still got that graceful elegance that is so characteristic of the faction. Design-wise, 8 out of 10. Everything on this hero is really well put together, but I cannot give it a 10 out of 10 simply because of this collar in the back here. It is wide open, and that has also impacted my aesthetic score, which is only a 9 out of 10, because yes, she is absolutely stunning, but even if she puts on that helm, there would still be plenty of room for weapons to use the natural contours of that collar to guide the pointy end into her skull. Lore-wise, 1 out of 10, simply because it hasn't been written yet. We know she's from House Tyrell, and beyond that we're waiting for Plarium to dissipate the mists of time. And as someone who really enjoys the lore elements of this game, I reserve the right to be salty about that. Now, if I'm to summarise her value, she is a defensive champ, and they do not get enough credit in the game. But this takes me back to that 6 out of 10 that I gave for the mechanical score. She has 3 buffs sitting in her passive, but only one, the ally protection, goes to the entire team, whereas the other 2 is purely for her. Her stun only lasts for 1 turn, and her decreased critical damage, whilst this is great on a nuke, if you're going up against a utility heavy team, this essentially becomes useless. The one primary redeeming quality is that all of her damage is based on defense, which means you don't have to worry about stacking the attack stat, making gearing her just that little bit less complicated. All of that being said though, the artistry is absolutely insane. I mean, look at her. Even the helm has those little cat-like wisps that flow with this collar, which, granted, I don't like the fact that that collar is open, but design-wise, it flows. It is so well put together. Whoever took care of this creative design has to get their praise, because it's well deserved. She genuinely appears to have been designed as someone you would actually trust to stand between you and a vengeful army, and she would absolutely earn a spot on my wall for pure badassery. Thank you very much for joining me today. Happy raiding. I will see you in the next video. Bye, 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 bye.